So, good evening, and welcome along to another big show here on NVTV. Coming up on the show this week, Pamela Cassells will be telling us all about her brand new book, Monologues That Matter. Leigh Alderson will be here talking about his brand new youth ballet school. And we'll have some live music from JOMMAC, aka Joe McNally. But starting things off, we're going to start with some live music and a man who released his debut album 40 years ago this year. He was in Belfast recently to play a gig, and he came in here to perform a couple of tracks from his new album, The Magic Tree. So ladies and gentlemen, here is the singer-songwriter legend, Steve Forbert.
If winds calm down to nothing, leaves will still be rustling in the magic tree. When nothing else is doing, something's always brewing in the magic tree. Boys with their boards and their heads held high built up their house near the big blue sky and whiled away the hours, soaking up the powers of the magic tree. Who grew up tall with his roots down deep, who'll guard them all and their secrets keep. When nothing else is making, something's always shaking in the magic tree. Who grew up tall with his roots down deep, who'll guard them all in their secrets keep. When all my cares have doubled, I can take my troubles to the magic tree. When nothing else is pleasant, good is always present in the magic tree. There's not much left of the neighborhood, but my dear old friend, I see that you've withstood. And even though it's snowing, love is up there growing in the magic tree. Yes, even though it's snowing, love is up there growing in the magic tree.
So that's a track called The Magic Tree from Steve Forbert, who joins me now in the studio. Steve, welcome to Belfast.
Robin, hi.
But of course, you've been here many times before, haven't you?
Yeah, I would say 8 or 9. This could be 10.
What do you think of the Belfast audiences?
Oh, they're great. Some of the best in all of the British Isles. Yeah, good.
So we heard The Magic Tree there. That's the title track from the new album, which I believe is your 19th studio album.
Wow.
So tell us about the new album then. What else can we expect on it?
Well, it spans several decades. It goes along with this book you and I have been talking about. The book is a memoir of 60 years or so, my life in folk rock. And so coincidentally, the album goes back and sort of completes several recordings, starting as far back as 1985 and jumping up through these decades. So, and there's 3 or 4 brand new ones on the record. So I think it's got 12 songs, 11 songs, and it kind of goes along with the book because it spans so much time.
There's some great photographs in the book as well. There's one here with Keith Richards.
That's a backstage shot when he was visiting someone we both liked, Tina Turner, at a show in New York City.
So I suppose the Rolling Stones must have been a big influence on you when you were starting out.
You know, they all have. The obvious, Bob Dylan, Neil Young, of course the Beatles, of course the Rolling Stones, Simon and Garfunkel, but the list goes on and on. You know, Sandy Denny, Fairport Convention, you know, the list goes on and on. Canned Heat.
Yeah, oh brilliant, yeah. So it was 1976 when you found yourself in New York City, and at that time there'd been a lot of punk stuff, a lot of new wave stuff around. And then along comes you, a folk singer in the middle of all that.
True.
What was that like? It must have been a fun time to be in New York.
Yeah, it was fun. And I must say I was 21 years old, going 22 when I was scuffling about. So that's generally, if you're not having fun when you're 21 and 22, you know,
yeah,
it might not get any better. But yeah, it was fun. And you could say an acoustic guitar singer, songwriter probably shouldn't be thinking of going and auditioning at CBGB's, but I tried everywhere else.
Yeah.
And why not? So yeah, it did work out.
I suppose at that time there would have been artists like Debbie Harry and Blondie and stuff around, wouldn't there?
True. When I got there, they hadn't released their first album yet. That's how far back it was. Yeah. And yeah, you had Talking Heads was still a trio. Okay.
Wow.
Not a quartet, not a full band with additional people and dancing, none of that.
No.
It's very earthy.
So how did you do it? How did you get the break then? It was Romeo's tune, wasn't it, that really did it for you?
Well, that really, yeah, that was on the second record. So as far as the general public, yeah, a hit single's a nice thing too.
I've just opened the book here and I see a photograph with Sam Phillips as well. Mm-hmm.
Sam Phillips, who ran Sun Records and discovered and recorded Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis and Roy Orbison and Johnny Cash, you know, Warren Smith and who am I forgetting? Carl Perkins, the list goes on. Yeah, he was at a ceremony in Nashville and I was able to, you know, visit with him and get that picture made. Sam Phillips is probably, we have him to thank for all of it.
Of course, yeah.
What we call rock and roll.
Great stuff. So once you finish on the tour, what's next for you? I know you've been working on a kind of cover album, haven't you?
True. The thing to do is to go back and finish that. We cut the tracks for it, and I've got a lot of vocals, but I may do some more of those. And it's going to be some of my favorite songs that I've grown up with and lived with for all these years. And
great stuff. Well, Steve, thank you for joining us. You're going to do one more track now. What are you going to do for us this time?
This is called Let's Get High. Robin, it's about let's get high on life itself, okay?
We look forward to this, Steve. Thank you.
Thank you.
So here we go with Let's Get High. One more time, ladies and gentlemen. Here is Steve Forbert.
Come on, baby, 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 let's get high. Let's get high on life itself and let the days roll by. There's no time to lose. Slip back in your shoes. Walk outside the blues while the sun still shines. Come on, baby, 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 let's get up. Let's get up to where it is that says we've filled our cup. Way up near the brim. Jump on in and swim. Walk out on a whim while the sun still shines. And nighttime feels so lonesome. Night so dark and fast. When autumn is coming, gone the sunny days fade fast. Come on, baby, 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 let's get high. Nighttime feels so lonesome. Night is so dark and vast. When autumn is come and gone, the sunny days fade fast. Come on, baby, 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 let's get gone. Let's get to gone to where it is. It's shimmering on and on. Get back in it all. Walk outside your wall. Hear the blue jays call while the sun still shines. Come on, baby, 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 let's get high.
Now, Leigh Alderson is a professional dancer from Northern Ireland who went away to train at the Royal Ballet School in London. He's now back to set up his own company, and we're going to find out more because he joins me in the studio. Leigh, how are you?
Not too bad, thanks very much.
So is it good to be home in Northern Ireland then?
I feel very much like home every time I come back. It's a very special, unique place for me, so it's important for me to come back. It grounds me, yeah. And of course, I don't think I would be the person or the dancer I am today if it wasn't for the fact that I came from this very unique area. So coming back, it's always important for me to try and give something back as well.
Yeah, so let's take you way back to the start. How did your love for dance first develop?
That I can never fully answer because it was always something I just asked my mum one day. I must have been about 5 or 6, possibly 7. I really want to dance. Mm-hmm. And Mum was like, well, you know, not many boys do this. You know, it's the mid-90s.
And again, that's a very Northern Irish thing as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, she was incredibly supportive. She still threw me into dance lessons, but she put me in for like a summer school. She thought maybe that'll cool my heels and that'll be the end of it. Of course, after those 6 weeks, I was like, Mum, I want to keep dancing. Like, this is super important to me. Like, I really love it. So it didn't really make sense. We didn't really have dancers in the family. So she sort of put me through to the Donna Whitten Dance School, and I would have done ballet, tap, and modern at a young age, and then she moved me on to Susan McMillan, who we sadly lost this year.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And she saw an aptitude for ballet, told us that if I wanted to do that, I would have to go away. Yeah. And of course I cried and said, no, I can't go away, I can't leave home. But as soon as I auditioned for the Royal Ballet School and I got in, I was just so excited. Nothing else sort of mattered. Mum kind of just sighed and resigned herself to the fact that her boy was going to have to go away. So
what's a typical day like at the Royal Ballet School?
You'd get up, you'd be woken up from the dorms at about 7 or 7:30, I can't remember now, and down for breakfast for 8, then straight into school for a couple of hours, then you'd be changed, have lunch, go into ballet class, go back to school for a couple more hours, then you'd have after-school activities that would be sort of learning solos or rep or doing partner work or contemporary or different types of dance. You'd finish around 6 o'clock, you'd have food, you'd go down to the classrooms again to do your homework, and then you'd be in bed by 9:15, ready to do the whole thing again.
Wow.
Yeah, it was rigorous. I mean, they really put you through your paces.
So once you finished there, what kind of opportunities did that experience then give you? What did you go on to do then?
So I was professionally dancing as soon as I graduated. I'd been with Scottish Ballet for a few years, but I knew in the back of my mind that I really wanted to go to Canada. Right. This is also one of those weird things that makes no sense at all. Just out of nowhere, I want to go and do Canada. So auditions for a company that was out east. They accepted me on the back of just one video that they had seen of me, which I thought was great. Mm-hmm. And then was there for a few years and then moved on to Le Grand Ballet Canadien in Montreal. So I was there for 4 years. Did some amazing rep, like I worked with some great people. We toured all over the world, absolutely loved it. I hit 30 and I realized that it had been about 20 years since I'd been close to home. I wasn't getting home very regularly at all. So I wanted to relocate while I still had dancing years left within me. And then just finished up a tour with Matthew Bourne Swan Lake. But in between coming back, I did see a slight progression in the way that the dance world was sort of blossoming somewhat in Northern Ireland, but still not quite what it I think it should be, or what it definitely could be. Figured it was the best to start from the very, very bottom and try and start a youth ballet company that would work and function just like a normal ballet company.
That's a first for Northern Ireland, isn't it?
Yep. Very privileged that I am able to come back in any capacity and try and even leave any kind of mark on the dance world here. And this is an incredibly important art form, and people do enjoy watching it, and it is transformative. Like, you come out of the theatre feeling so elated, you feel something, and that's important too.
So what's the plans now for the business? How's this going to move forward then?
Well, at the minute we're rehearsing, and we're in the process of just very few days away from our first official full-length show for this season. We're doing a reimagining of the original tale of Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid. Right. But we've set it in 1940s wartime. Like, we try to give it a good twist. My brothers made some amazing set pieces. So together, like, we've actually created quite an interesting, unusual show, but while still divulging into like really interesting choreography for the kids as well.
So where can we come and see this then?
So we have 2 dates at the minute. We have the 21st, and that's the Marketplace, June 21st, and then the second date is the 9th of August in the Ardone in Enniskillen.
So if people want to get in touch with you, maybe they want to join up, they want to get involved, how do they do that?
Absolutely, we have a lot of information on our website, aldersonballettheatre.com. We can give you all the information you need.
Great, well thank you for coming in and telling us all about that.
Thank
and
you.
The very best of luck with the shows.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now let's do our What's On guide, where we take a look and see what's happening throughout Belfast and beyond over the next week or so. And we're starting off with Nashville in Belfast, and they present a night of original music and storytelling with some of Ireland and Scotland's best songwriters. And this showcase gig takes place on the Belfast Barge on the 14th of June and features country rock band The Rising, Niamh McGlinchey and Katie Cross and the Amberjacks. Moving on to the Millennium Forum in Derry, Londonderry, and Daniel O'Donnell returns with his show Opry Le Daniel. On Saturday the 15th of June, there's a young country show featuring Chantel Padden, Simon Peters, David James, Shauna McStravik and Gary Fitzpatrick. And as well as that, Margot O'Donnell celebrates 55 years in show business. On Sunday the 16th of June, the show continues with some country heroes, including legends like Crystal Gale, Philomena Begley and Susan McCann. Like many people who lose a loved one, author Mary Lou Quinlan struggled to come to terms with the death of her mother until she found an unexpected gift from the woman she missed so deeply. Based on her New York Times best-selling book, The God Box, Sharing My Mother's Gift of Faith, Love and Letting Go, Mary Lou brings her solo show, The God Box, A Daughter Story, to the Playhouse in Derry on Saturday the 15th of June. And that show also is produced to raise funds for the Foyle Hospice. A Night in November tells the story of Kenneth McAllister, a clerk in the local welfare office, and Kenneth is a Belfast Protestant who's followed all the rules. He loved who he was supposed to love, he lived where he was expected to live, and he fought who he was taught to fight. That is, until one night, a night in November, where he did the most exciting, outrageous, crazy mad thing he'd ever done. And you can catch A Night in November at the Lyric Theatre until the 21st of June. Here we go again. The smash hit, hilarious musical comedy Rock of Ages returns to Belfast Grand Opera House from the 18th until the 22nd of June. Starring Strictly Come Dancing champion Kevin Clifton, Kevin Kennedy and Zoe Burkett, Rock of Ages is an LA love story lavished with over 25 classic rock anthems, including Don't Stop Believing, We Built This City, The Final Countdown, Can't Fight This Feeling, and I Want to Know What Love Is. And finally now, if you want to catch a movie in cinemas this week, Men in Black International stars Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson and Liam Neeson. And the Men in Black have always protected Earth from the scum of the universe, and in this new adventure they tackle their biggest threat to date.
If we could all just look right here.
Just try.
It'll be fun. We'll have fun with it.
There should be a big red button around here somewhere.
Found it.
Right, we've got an exclusive for you now, not just any old exclusive, a world exclusive, the first live performance of a brand new song from JOMMAC, aka Joe McNally, who joins me now in the studio. Joe, how are you, sir?
Keeping very well, Robin.
Brilliant. We'll talk about the song in just a second. Before we do, we've got a big show coming up in about 2 weeks' time, haven't we? Yeah, we do.
We do indeed. When Will I Be Famous, which is at the Grand Opera House on the 25th of June, with yourself as well, being our narrator, and guest appearance by the Motown sensations. And you just never know, maybe Bros will turn up. They just might. Maybe when they see this, they'll say, hey, let's go.
So I would imagine with a title like When Will I Be Famous, this show, it's all about boy bands and girl bands and boy bands from the past, yes?
Boy bands from today, boy bands from the past, and as we've talked about before, it's just total mayhem and fun, and just a family show, and a show that everybody will really, really enjoy. Brilliant show.
And the great thing, all the main parts are played by the guys from Actionability Belfast, aren't they?
They are indeed. All the cast have various disabilities, and the disability is not what we work with. It's the person's ability, and the guys are absolutely superb. Over the last 6 years, they've appeared at the Opera House with various productions that we've done, and the confidence that everything is just growing. They're just amazing.
Right, so we'll move away from that, because as well as the work you do with Actionability Belfast, you're also a singer-songwriter as well.
I am indeed, yeah.
And you've been out touring the circuit for many years.
Yeah.
But you've kind of always been in the background a little bit, haven't you?
I have. I've been working with other people, other singer-songwriters from here. I was MD at Emerald Music for a few years. I've done some music with a film composer, James Everett. We did some stuff for Bad Day for the Cut, and just generally working with various people from within the industry here, yeah.
And then the whole producing and writing, how did all that start then?
I think it started again with a couple of friends of mine. We just get into the various methods of how to record music and how to do some songwriting, and it just kind of grew from there. I didn't really start singing and start really getting into the songwriting properly until about 2003. And the song I'm doing today actually was written at a music seminar that I was at, where I co-wrote this song with a guy from Germany called Stefan Schmidt, who Stefan actually wrote the anthem for the Bayern Munich Football Club as well. Yeah. So he actually co-wrote the song that we're going to do today, and that was back in 2007. Wow. So it's kind of been hiding, and I think a lot of people have basically been saying to me, look, you have to bring this out, and I've probably used every excuse in the book to try not to do it, and here I am. I finally decided, it's time to come out, really.
So we're going to hear it. It's a world exclusive, the first time ever on TV. Yeah. Today, tell us the story behind the song.
The song is called Thanks to You. Thanks to You. There's a few people have listened to it. Some people think it's a love song. Some people think it's quite a spiritual song. For me, music is what you get from it. Whatever you think it is what it is, and what your impression, what feeling you get from it. For me, it's kind of a song that it is kind of spiritual, but it's also kind of a thank you to everybody that may have been there for you when you may haven't been yourself. You may have been hitting the ground, and that's what this song's about. All
right, so ladies and gentlemen, herewith, thanks to you, that world exclusive that we promised you, here is JOMMAC.
I'm afraid I won't get there, and I'm afraid I'm gonna fall. So I'm taking this journey. I'm gonna follow my call. I'm gonna reach for the heavens, high above the clouds and the sky so blue. I'm on top of the world now, thanks to you. I'm not here on my own now, and I don't feel so alone. I'm not here on my own now, thanks to you. Thanks to you, thanks to you, thanks to you. I'm no longer uncertain. I feel my life's gonna change. top of the world now, thanks to you. I'm not here on my own now, and I don't feel so alone. I'm not here on my own now, thanks to you. Thanks to you, thanks to you, thanks to you. I'm not here on my own now. My friends are no longer few. I'm not here on my own now, thanks to you. Thanks to you, thanks to you, thanks to you. And don't take a chance when it's given to you. And oh, for this chance, I thank you. I'm not here on my own now. I don't feel so alone. I'm not here on my own now, thanks to you. Thanks to you, thanks to you, thanks to you. I'm not here on my own now. My friends are no longer few. I'm not here on my own now, thanks to you. Thanks to you, thanks to you, thanks to you. Thanks to you, thanks to you, thanks to you. Thanks to you, thanks to you, thanks to you.
And my final guest on the big show this week has just released a brand new book. It's a book for young actors. It's called Monologues That Matter, and Pamela Cassells joins me in the studio to tell us all about it. Pamela, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Good to be here.
What can we expect from the book then?
Well, the book is a collection of 40 monologues for young actors, so as young as 6, 7 playing age, right up to 20s. So it's it's just a variety of original scenes for young actors to perform at auditions, at competitions, and are just for fun and learning.
And as you would know, there is a lot of young talent out there in Northern Ireland, but it's always been difficult to find speeches and stuff for Northern Ireland actors, hasn't it?
Yeah, so difficult. So what happens is then we seem to fall into the same pieces. So a lot of children are coming up at different auditions and competitions performing the same scene over and over. And for someone on the panel, it's quite hard to you're comparing one person and another's interpretation on it. So it's nice, I think, to have some fresh, modern monologues that young people today can relate to and that people from Northern Ireland can relate to as well.
So how long did it take then to get the whole book together?
Well, actually, my husband challenged me to write a monologue a day over the summer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was. I already had some. I've been writing for years, so I had some that I just kind of went back and looked at again, and then I wrote one a day over the summer. Brilliant.
So tell us about some of the monologues in the book then, because we are going to see some short scenes from them. So what have we got then?
So the scenes that you're going to be seeing, one of them is about a guy called Luke who finds himself homeless, which, as we know, unfortunately is a very real issue that we have here and all over the world. So it's his take on how he ended up being homeless and how that all sort of transpired, and the very real effects that that's had on his life. So it's pretty heavy. Yeah. But it's a good piece for an older male actor to get their teeth stuck into, and it has a really good emotional range within that one scene. And again, that was one of my intentions when writing it, that within the one scene, it's sort of, it takes you on a bit of an emotional journey, so you can really show in that audition or the competition just what you can do. So that's the first scene. The second scene is a lighthearted take on confession. Yeah. So we meet a girl as she goes in to give her confession. She hasn't been there in quite some time, and let's just say she's up to a few antics while she's in there. So it's a nice, fun, comical piece, which, if you enjoy doing comedy, then that's the one for you. And then finally is just a scene for a younger actor based on the troubles in Northern Ireland, but really looking at it through a child's eyes, really. So it's very innocent in how it's written, but then at the end, she's locked in the house during the scene, but she can look out the window and she's waiting on her mum and dad to return. And then at the end, she looks out the window and she sees what's happening out there, and her dad has been shot, and she watches that all unfold in front of her eyes, but she's locked in and she can't do anything. So it's quite an emotional scene, but a lovely scene for a young actress with ability, you know, to really explore that sort of emotional content.
My name is Luke. I'm 16. My mum kicked me out. Like, proper kicked me out. Things have never been good, really. My dad left the scene when I was small. I don't even remember him. And since then, my mum has had a series of different men. None of them any good. Most of them have been abusive, throw their weight about, lay down the law, that sort of thing. So we've always come to loggerheads. I'm no angel, but I've always respected my mum. Your mum's your mum at the end of the day. But a new flame of the month, well, he's a different league. It's like he's some sick control freak, and the only way he knows how to answer anything is with violence. I couldn't just sit there and watch him do that to my mum. So I gave her the ultimatum. Him or me, I said. Him or me, mum. She chose him. So I started sofa surfing. All my mates' houses and stuff. Most parents just thought I was staying over. They hadn't a clue. But you can only do that for so long. It isn't a long-term answer. Friends' generosity only goes so far. I've ended up in a hostel trying to fend for myself. I don't feel like I've got a reason to wake up anymore. No one's motivating me anymore. No one's keeping me there. My mum doesn't even want me anymore. What's the point in waking up in the mornings? I'm just made up of violence and anger, man. It's like there's this bad person inside me, and they're stomping on the good bit that I know is there, and I'm like, get out! I feel like there's this disease or this infection inside me that makes me this way. All this bad stuff that's inside me, all this dirt, that I just need to get out. I think, deep down, I am a good person. But it's deep, deep down in there.
Hello, Father. I hope you're keeping well. The chapel's looking great. Has it had a wee revamp? No. That's awful bad weather we've been having, isn't it, Father? My Aunt Catherine's Oh, yes, Father. Me sins, you're right, sorry. Forgive me. Okay, here it goes. I'm ready. What do I have to say again, Father? Ah, there we are. Thanks. I was just testing you. Okay. Forgive me, Father, for you have sinned. I have sinned. It has been so long since me last confession. Oh, I have to say how long it's been since me last confession. Right, gotcha. Well, it has been so long since me last confession. Okay, will I go? Well, as you and I know, Father, it's important to be honest. And if I'm being completely honest, I'm racking my brain thinking, and I can't seem to find any sins. That's why I haven't been here in an age, 'cause I don't think I need to be forgiven. But of course, my Aunt Emer had to stick her ugly old nose in when she was around our house the other night. You see, her daughter's the same age as me, Patricia. Perfect Patricia. Honestly, everyone thinks the sun shines out of her. Anyway, Patricia goes to Mass every Sunday and sits up like a saint. You probably know her, Father. Patricia. Patricia McKenna. She'll come there. Well, let me tell you a thing or two about Patricia. She's a demon at school, and she's always nasty to all the junior girls. And at lunch, she meets up with Shamie McCann and kisses her round the back of the bicycle shed. I swear she does, Father. And I'm not one to gossip, but if she doesn't watch out, she'll get herself a bad name. But of course, my Aunt Emer can't see her nose about her face, and she thinks her wee Patricia's perfect. So she was bumming and blowing about Patricia the other night. I said about Mass and how devout did they were, and asked Mummy when we were last here. So of course, Mummy felt rotten and forced me to come tonight. And says we'll be back on Sunday. I don't mean to offend you, Father, but Mass is so boring. I bet you're probably bored to tears too. If the fact you weren't getting paid so well, you probably wouldn't come yourself. Am I right? I mean, you have to admit, it does go on a bit. And well, if you've been to one, you've been to them all. Wouldn't you say, Father? Oh, I'm just checking the time. But you see, I'm heading out to a disco tonight in the Orange Hall up in Glennock Street. Loads of ones are going. Right, that's me, Father. I promise to come back and visit more often. And hopefully I'll have a few more wee sins to confess. Okay, bye, Father.
Och, it's no fun playing on your own. There's no real point to it. I love competition. I always win. Well, I always beat my mummy, but sometimes Daddy beats me. Although I swear he cheats, 'cause he's always got that cheeky wee look on his face. Like the same face he has when Mum says, "We aren't allowed any more of the Jacob biscuits, 'cause there's hardly any left." But Daddy always steals us too. He's so much fun. That's where my mummy is now. I went to look for my daddy. She says it's like an adult game of hide and seek, and she has to find him. He left in such a rush earlier tonight. He just came running down the stairs with his big black coat and hat on, gave me a wee wink like this, and then left. He does that a lot lately. Sometimes Mummy just shakes her head and looks worried, and then goes to the back door and smokes like 100 cigarettes. But tonight, Mummy said she had to go and find him, 'cause they were playing hide and seek. She locked me in here, but promised that when they come back we can play together. Although there isn't much point because there's nowhere to hide in here. There's the police again. They're always up and down this street. And look at that smoke! Class! There looks to be loads going on tonight. That would be so good for a game of hide and seek. I'm so bored. I hate being on my own. It's no fun. What's that? Someone must have been shot again. I can hear my mummy. There she is. She's crying and screaming. Why is my mummy crying? Mummy! Mummy! Why are you crying? Stop crying! Did you not find Daddy? Mummy! Mummy! Where's my Daddy?
And of course, all the young actors that we saw there, they've all been working with you in your performing arts school, haven't they?
Yes, so the three that were performing today, yes, are three of my own students. So yeah, they're well trained.
So how long have you been running your school for now then?
17 years.
Wow.
17 years, yeah, long time.
And a lot of your students have gone on to bigger and better things, to movies and things as well, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Like some of them have done really well and gone on to do drama school, professional theatre, film work. So they've worked hard and they've done well. And then I run Rising Talent, which is a separate business, and it's an agency for young people in Northern Ireland, so it's very separate from my school. and I represent now over 100 young actors from all across Northern Ireland, and that is to provide professional opportunity within film and TV and radio. So yeah, it's doing really well, and there's some lovely talent within that.
Great stuff. If people want to get a copy of your book, how do they do that?
So there's several ways. It's available on iTunes, it's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble and Waterstones online. So any of those outlets. And the book launch is just in a few days' time. So welcome to anybody to come along there, and there'll be a selection of performances from about 8 different actors, and we've got music from James Hughes. So plans to be a good night.
And what about your performing arts school? Have you got anything over the summer coming up?
Over the summer, we just do a few summer weeks. We sort of take a bit of a chill out time to, you know, just gather our thoughts again for starting back. But we've had such a busy year. So we have 4 different summer weeks that are available with lots of different dance and acting and loads of different things happening there. And then we start back with a bang in September, and we are doing a Panto Aladdin. So we're all go for that.
Brilliant. Well, Pamela, thank you for joining us, and the very best of luck with the book.
Thank you very much.
So that's all we've time for on The Big Show this week. Thank you to all my guests, and do join me again next week for the final show in this series. See you next week. Bye-bye.